Americans For Fair Taxation presents the weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, president of Americans For Fair Taxation, and recorded by Bob Paxton, a volunteer with the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association. And now, this week's Chairman's Report.
Hello, I'm Bob Paxton with the AFFT Chairman's Report for Friday, June 28, 2019. When Bernie Sanders examines the fair tax, he will demand it. Bernie Sanders is running for president again, and some people think he will be the Democratic nominee. Now, unlike their opinion of some of the other candidates, most people, whether they agree with him or not, don't doubt his sincerity. He seems to honestly believe that his proposals are good for the greatest number of people in America. Now, one of the things he believes is that the great majority of people who are working hard and making close to the U.S. median household annual income of $61,372, those people deserve more help from the government. Now, supporters of the fair tax agree that these median income earners and all other Americans deserve more help. However, rather than creating more government programs with their inherent inefficiencies and abuses, the first step should be providing all Americans a saner and more beneficial tax system. Now, all taxes are consumption taxes. A family has the amount it earns, after deducting any amount paid in taxes, to use for consumption. Now, some taxes, like the income and payroll taxes, are levied prior to consumption. They're withheld from you before you even receive your check. Other taxes, like the fair tax, are levied at the time of consumption. You receive your entire paycheck, and then you pay the fair tax when you make retail purchases of new goods or services. Now, whether the tax is levied prior to consumption or at the time of consumption, the levied tax reduces the amount remaining for family consumption. For example, the U.S. Census Bureau calculated the 2017 U.S. median income at $61,372, or $5,114 a month. So for the following example, we're going to assume no state income tax. Now, according to the H&R Block tax calculator, this median family filing jointly with two minor children will owe only about $50 in federal income tax, but will pay $4,666 in Social Security Medicare taxes, the most regressive federal taxes on the books. This results in a total of $4,716 in income payroll taxes for this family, leaving them with $56,656 or $4,721 a month for consumption. Now, when the federal income payroll tax system is replaced by the fair tax, the family will receive their entire $5,114 a month plus $648 in prebate. Now, again, the prebate is a monthly tax refund reimbursing the family for the fair tax paid on their spending for basic necessities. So, under the fair tax, this family will receive a total of $5,762 a month versus $4,716 under the income tax. Now, while the amounts spent vary widely depending on where you live, housing and transportation costs are two expenses common to median income families with two children. According to information at NewBalance.com, the average monthly mortgage payment is $1,022. The average monthly car payment is $479. Now, if you have two cars, then the average car payment adds up to $958 a month. Now, since over 90% of the houses purchased aren't new, and since many people purchased used vehicles, we will assume for this example that the purchased home is not new and that the vehicles are used. The final assumption here is that the family saves 6% of their income, which is the average amount estimated by the St. Louis Federal Reserve. So let's see how the payroll tax system compares with the fair tax with regard to housing and transportation costs. Now, I know if you're listening on one of these audio-only podcasts, this may get a little wonky, but for those of you looking at the visual medium, check out the following table. Under the income payroll tax system, the annual income is $61,372. Under the fair tax, the family receives that same amount plus $7,779 in prebate, bringing their income under the fair tax to $69,151 a year. Under the income payroll tax system, $4,716 is siphoned off for those taxes, while the fair tax takes none of it. After deducting the same amount for mortgage, transportation, and savings in each case, the family's net remaining for consumption would be $29,216 under the income payroll tax system, but $41,711 under the fair tax. Now, of course, to complete the picture, the family will be making other retail purchases of new goods and services with that $41,711 they have left for consumption, and the fair tax will consume 23% of that spending. That comes out to $9,594. So, after the fair tax, this family will have $32,117 available for consumption versus the $29,216 under the income payroll tax system. Now, in the above analysis, it's important to note that the amounts available for consumption under the fair tax assume that most prices will not be reduced. Now, most people who have reviewed the effect of eliminating the income payroll tax system and adopting the fair tax believe that competition will cause most prices to be reduced a minimum of 10%. This is the minimum amount of embedded costs that they believe the income payroll tax system is adding to the price of goods purchased by consumers, and that would be eliminated by the fair tax. If there was a 10% decrease in prices, the amount remaining for consumption would, of course, be 10% more. Forgetting any impact on home mortgages or transportation costs, this means the $32,117 available in the fair tax example above will allow the family to purchase $35,329 worth of new goods and retail services. And instead of the family only having $2,901 more to use for consumption, they would have $6,113 more. Also, the following is true. With a fair tax, remember, no individual tax returns need to be filed. You only pay tax when you purchase new goods. With a fair tax, we stop exporting jobs overseas and we make U.S.-produced goods more competitive without tariffs. You get your entire paycheck, you decide how best to spend your money, and there are many other benefits as well. In conclusion, Senator Sanders, listen, doesn't the fair tax help the forgotten middle-income people you believe are being abused by the current system? Yes, it does. Don't we make their lives better and more prosperous by eliminating the income payroll tax system and replacing it with a fair tax? Absolutely we do. Now, actually, wouldn't the fair tax effectively give these people a 10% raise in their spendable income? Yes. Now, since the fair tax will bring jobs back to the U.S. and increase the growth of the economy, there will be more money coming into the Treasury. Now, this will allow you to fund programs like free college tuition and student loan relief. So how can Senator Sanders or anyone else who truly cares about the American people not say that it's time to pass the fair tax, the only truly fair tax?
This has been the Weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, President of Americans for Fair Taxation. Check back every week for news and information about the fair tax, and learn why the fair tax should replace our antiquated federal income tax system. If you'd like to receive a copy of the Chairman's Report in your inbox every week, sign up at fairtax.org or bigsolution.org.